Hello, welcome to today's video diary for Finding My Way with Pi, Purpose, Intention, and Emotion. Today I am observing what it feels like as a mother when one of my children is experiencing a scary mental health issue. I'm not going to go into the particulars of which child or even exactly what they're going through, but I will say that it's scary enough that my initial reaction is fear, and a lot of it, my initial reaction is to want to protect, to want to guard against any more pain for my child, and to want to control the situation and everything around it so that my child can heal. Now, I am having to check myself. So, hubby calls this that hop step. Like when you're playing outfield in baseball and the batter hits the ball, your instinct is to chase. And many players will jump and do that before they fully assessed exactly where the ball is going. Many players who have not yet developed their skill in the outfield. Skilled outfield players take a hop step. They jump, so they satisfy their body's need to action, but they jump and plant their feet and assess. And they figure out where the ball is going, and then they move. And so that is what this daily video diary is for me right now. It's a hop step. I need to assess because I know my instinct to action out of fear and then trying to control might actually result in driving my child further into that dark place that I'm so afraid of in the first place. So first, I want to acknowledge what is most important to me throughout the situation. It's most important to me that this is normalized as much as possible for my child. What I mean by that is we as humans, children and adults alike, particularly nowadays when there is a pandemic of anxiety and depression and even suicide, we all falsely believe that we are suffering alone. We all judge ourselves for our negative thoughts and emotions, or for not being happy, and we decide something's wrong with us. But we're too afraid to tell anyone we're feeling that way out of fear of judgment. And the truth is, so many other people are feeling that way too. And it's a normal part of being a human being. And it's part of our bodies, it's part of our entire system. Our hearts, our minds, our spirits, our bodies, all interconnected. And while my child is precious and special to me, there is nothing special or odd about my child experiencing a deep low in mental health. So in that way, I want to educate and normalize so that my voice and hopefully eventually my child's inner voice understands that nothing is wrong with them, that they are human. Which leads me to the next part of what's most important to me. I know that I cannot control every situation my child is in. I don't get to choose how my child thinks or what they feel. I know that they will have circumstances in life that they are going to have to figure out how to navigate while they're in it. And that they won't have a playbook to know exactly what to do. And that in order to navigate situations like that, they need to be able to listen to themselves and trust themselves. If I am stepping in to control everything, they can't learn how to do that. So I want so badly through this situation, what's most meaningful to me, for my child to learn how to trust themselves and listen to themselves and reflect and know that they have the power within them, that going within and healing is a choice and it's work that they can do. And yes, sometimes we do need help and guidance from others, and it still requires our own personal contributions to our well-being. I want my child to feel the empowerment of self. And last, I think the most meaningful thing to me through this situation is that my child knows that that we love them. That there are times in life where it's difficult and that the journey within is tumultuous and blustery and uncomfortable and painful. And we get through these times together. That they, as a human being, need to find their people who love them and support them and who will be with them in this space without judging them or trying to fix them, but allowing them to find their way. And I want to be that for my child as much as I can be. And it's their choice if they choose me or hubby or whoever to walk by them through this. And that I am walking with them through this to the extent that I need to as their parent, while keeping that opportunity there for them to do the heavy lifting here on their own, so that they are empowered and they know that they can. And they know they're loved and supported through that process and that they're not alone. So I thought, it's ironic that it will actually go public tonight in the middle of the night. I set it to premiere a poetry playlist on Finding My Way with Pi. And the first poem that I'll be publishing on that playlist is called Love and Logic. And I wrote it before I knew about the severity of the situation with my child. I find it to be beautiful the way the universe works. I didn't know why I was writing a poem about parenting, because I had felt like, as far as parenting goes, the last few weeks have actually been pretty smooth. And yeah, if you're a parent, then you appreciate those times, because it's not always smooth sailing. But this poem came to me. It's called Love and Logic. And it came to me by a series of connection and reconnecting with one of my kids' pre-kindergarten teachers in a conversation, and it sparked a reflection and a memory. And the way poetry comes to me, it just comes. I have to write it down. It just flows. And then once it dries up, I go back and read what I wrote. And this was all about parenting. And it 2 days later, after I write this, this happens with my kid and comes to light. And I could have gone into a negative spiral of, I'm a bad mom. Why didn't I see this coming? Why couldn't I must have failed somewhere that I couldn't teach her or him so that they didn't fall prey to this type of situation. Or I could have just gone into all kinds of negative self-talk. But the words of the poem that I wrote kept ringing in my head. And one line in particular is that as a parent, I'm just here to delight in my child's self-discovery. That is not always a pleasant process. Self-discovery can be delightful. It can also be quite painful as we wade through the ups and downs of what it means to be a human being and to discover who we are. And this is one of those opportunities for my child. So I'm grateful that that poem and that message came to me when it did, so that I could very calmly and lovingly and supportingly support my child with genuine curiosity to understand what they're feeling, how they're feeling, and why, and embrace them. And now walk beside them with acceptance and love. So thanks for being with me on this journey. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope it helps you too. I'll see you tomorrow.